On Rick Dancer TV, we're at the Eugene Farmers Market in downtown Eugene, where you can get local produce, local foods, everything you need. We're going to also take you a look back at the diary of Anne Frank from a story we did over 20 years ago, and introduce you to a new physical therapy clinic in town and show you a massage technique that will just blow your mind. That's next. I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting. August 4th, 1944, a young woman and her family were found hiding in the attic of a business in Amsterdam. That young woman was Anne Frank. Her diary changed the world. Back in 1993, photographer Bill Getz took his camera to an exhibit that was here in town. Anne Frank's best friend was also here to talk about her. But Bill Getz can't just leave a story alone. He has to go find the rest of the story. So he took his camera into a Junction City classroom and the University of Oregon, and he put together this piece that is amazing. We're working with the University of Oregon's Archives and Special Collections Department, and we are now bringing you stories from those old days at KEZI. This is a story that is priceless, and since the anniversary is this month, we thought we should share this with you. But we're going to break it up into little sections. So let's start at the beginning.
This week, a very special exhibit opened at the First United Methodist Church. It portrays in words and pictures the world of Anne Frank, the Dutch Jewish girl who died at the age of 15 in a German concentration camp at the end of World War II.
She spent the last 3 years of her life with her family in an attic in Amsterdam. There, before her capture by the Nazis, she wrote a diary. Millions have been moved by that diary, which was discovered and published by her father, Otto Frank, after the war. The exhibit is just as powerful. To view it is to understand the tragic consequences of discrimination.
I am young and I possess many buried qualities. I am young and strong and I'm living a great adventure. I am still in the midst of it and can't grumble the whole day long. I've been given a lot, a happy nature, a great deal of cheerfulness and strength.
She was just a kid, going to school and having boyfriends and spending a fair amount of time talking about that.
But you have to know, I just want to say, she was not holy. And these people forget, you know, she was just an original girl, like every other girl.
Well, certainly, she was an ordinary child, and at least until she was 13 years old, but placed in extraordinary, terrible circumstances.
She was so lovely and intelligent, and oh, she had so much to offer the world, and I think she was just wonderful.
We have a new client we want to introduce you to. It's Mike and Mary Staszak. They do physical therapy, they do massage therapy, they do acupuncture, they do, well, why am I telling you all this? They do everything. Watch the videos.
At Staszak Physical Therapy and Wellness Center, we teach you how to take care of your body and have a better life. So you don't have to live with pain.
Something hurts, but you learn to try to just live with the little aches and pains.
You know, and they don't go away. People try different things. They just think that that's just the way life is.
At Staszak Physical Therapy, we believe in treating the whole person, head to toe, inside and out, mind, body, spirit.
Staszak Physical Therapy and Wellness Center takes a holistic approach to your health. They look at the whole person and offer the latest therapy.
We offer physical therapy, massage therapy, acupuncture, aesthetics, yoga, Pilates, and nutrition.
It's complementary medicine. You know, each modality that's here, physical therapy, massage, acupuncture, esthetician, you know, we all work together to create the best integrative treatment possible for our patients. Patients see great results because of that.
We're trying to isolate them all, and so you felt that down there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, feel different there?
Yeah.
Education is a big part of what we do. It's really critical that people understand the patterns that they're having that aren't working for them.
Nutrition is a big part of overall fitness, and at Staszak Physical Therapy and Wellness Center, they offer a full line of Advocare products.
So nutrition and the right kind of nutrition and supplementation is really critical for a person's overall health as well. It gives me an awful lot of satisfaction to be able to help people that have had problems and pain for a long time and just thought that they needed to live with them. And I get to make a huge difference in a lot of people's lives. It gives me a tremendous amount of satisfaction. Yes. Life doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to live in pain.
Farmers Market in Eugene is open on Tuesdays from 10 to 3 in the park blocks. It's also Saturday from 9 to 3 right here in the park blocks. They also have it open now at 5th Street Marketplace, and that's from 12 to 4 on Thursdays. So you have no excuse not to be able to pick up fresh, local fruits, vegetables, and they also have breads and pastries. As we continue our look at Anne Frank, this section of the video shows and tells about who she really was, a little bit of history.
She was robbed of so much. And gave so much to us in the taking of it from her.
She was born in 1929. She died in 1945. It was a time of oppression and collaboration, and a time of compassion and courage. The Anne Frank in the World exhibit tells two stories: the life of an ordinary schoolgirl and the rise and fall of the movement that killed her and millions of others. It is also the story of ordinary people who chose to collaborate or resist. Others were never given the choice.
Look at this girl smiling, Jewish girl smiling in front of a park out in the afternoon with her parents, taking a family photograph. The Jews were not allowed in the park. She doesn't know that. We wonder what happened to her.
Norman Campbell is the exhibit's executive director.
Here's Otto Frank in his German officer's uniform. World War I, he served Germany as a military officer. And what a terrible irony to look beyond the photograph and realize that the country that he served and honored in military service is the country that put his family to death.
The exhibit goes on to trace the story of the Frank family, the birth of Anne and her sister Margot, Otto Frank fleeing with his family to Holland to escape the Nazi regime, the Nazi occupation of Holland, the 2 years the Franks and another family spent in hiding, the arrest, deportation, and deaths of Anne, her mother, and her sister, the survival of Otto Frank, and the publication of the diary.
We can trust Anne Frank the way we can trust no other eyewitness, because she was a child writing from her experience, from her heart.
You need your window replaced, you pick up your phone and call your insurance company.
A majority of the time, the 800 number is sometimes you're not talking to actually the insurance company.
Okay, John, then who am I talking with?
You're talking to a glass company that's been hired by the insurance company to do the billing for them.
Oh, so that's why they try to steer me to their company.
Obviously, some of those companies, they have their own shops. They try to send you that direction. Most people don't know.
So now you know, choose A1, where doing the right thing still matters.
I think a big part of what we do is teach people why they're having problems and what they can do.
Physical therapy is not just for athletes. It's for anyone living with pain.
You spend some time at a computer, don't you?
Yeah. And see, if I was sitting up more.
And you'd have more problems if you sat at a computer 8-10 hours a day.
We live with pain. Neck, lower back, shoulder, hip, knee, and foot pain. Oftentimes the source of the problem can be found in patterns that we've learned.
I can teach you how to make these changes. So what I want you to do is hold your arm straight up like that, all right? And now I want you to hold that band in your hand. Now the only thing the band is doing...
At Staszak Physical Therapy and Wellness Center, we help you unlearn patterns by strengthening stabilizer muscles and your core and identifying the cause of the pain.
I like, you know, when people have this realization that It's not as hard as they think. They don't have to just live with this. The light goes on for them about that it's not as hard as they think it is to get past the problems that they have.
In 1993, a friend of Anne Frank's came to Eugene along with an exhibit to talk to people here about who Anne Frank was and why she wrote what she wrote. Here's more on Bill Gett's look at the life of Anne Frank.
It is terrible outside. Day and night, more of those poor, miserable people are being dragged off with nothing but a rucksack and a little money. On the way, they are deprived even of these possessions. Families are torn apart, the men, the women, and children all being separated. Children coming home from school find that their parents have disappeared. Women return from shopping to find their homes shut up and their families gone.
Hannah, would you want to identify the photograph just for a minute?
For one special visitor, Anne's story is her story as well.
This is Anne, and this I am.
Hannah Gosler was a childhood friend of Anne's.
And then we were always together, from the kindergarten to the school, the elementary school, the high school. And then later I met her again in the concentration camp.
Imprisoned together at Bergen-Belsen concentration camp, the two girls spoke through a barbed wire fence.
And then she said a very bad thing. She said, my sister's dying and I have no parents anymore. And maybe if she would have known her father is still alive, we don't know, she could have more strength to live.
Anne Frank died 2 months before Bergen-Belsen was liberated.
Look, presents! Presents?
Oh, what's that she's got on her head?
A lampshade.
Well, she's kind of mythic, but this humanizes her, I think. We're trying to make her less of a martyr and, make her a real person.
Cammie Wilt portrays Anne Frank in the upcoming LCC theater production of The Diary of Anne Frank.
Despite everything, she still believed that everyone was still good at heart. I mean, it's an incredible message of optimism to everyone because, she was in the very, very worst of situations and she still believed.
I see a lot of people with shoulder problems. Shoulder problems are really common. You're a swimmer. You like to swim, so you're getting that overhead motion. When we talk about posture, even slight anterior rotation of your shoulder puts your shoulder joint in a compromised position. And for the shoulder to work properly, those rotator cuff muscles have to be working correctly. So the only way that they can do that is when your shoulder is actually in the position that it needs to be. And then the rotator cuff muscles can function properly. We can, use these muscles here need to get stronger. These middle shoulder blade muscles are some of the muscles that are very important in holding and maintaining your shoulder in the right neutral position. We can show you some really simple exercises that are going to target this without getting these other muscles going.
See, when you squeeze on that, I feel that.
Yeah.
I mean, it hurts.
Yeah.
Photographer Bill Getz was so intrigued with the story of Anne Frank, he didn't want to just get her story. He wanted to find out what kids back in that day, 21 years ago, thought of her message and who she was and what she thought. So he took his camera into a Junction City high school classroom.
I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are really good at heart.
At Junction City High School, students view the 1959 film and discuss the implications of discrimination. Kathy Zossel teaches language arts.
Why do you think Anne Frank still believed that people were still basically good?
Like the people who were hiding them, they are good people, and there's lots more of them than there are the bad people.
I mean, it wasn't the people that were bad, it was their ideas. They were misinformed, and so, I think she saw that.
I think you bring up a really good point, Amanda, and that is that there were good people who were misinformed. The point being that the only way to gain more awareness of life is to get better information and to get good information, okay? And to be aware yourself.
Zossel uses literature to promote individual and social awareness.
And if what we're giving out is a sense of acceptance and a longing to understand and a longing to honor other people, it's amazing how we get that back, okay? And it doesn't start way out there. It starts here with you at Junction City High School and with your friends and in your homes.
And that, says Norman Campbell, is the importance of the Anne Frank exhibit. To promote awareness and understanding of the consequences even minor acts of discrimination can lead to.
It starts by identifying people as different because they act different or they look different or they believe different. It's a question of not understanding where it leads, of not understanding how the behavior turns to tragedy, which is exactly what happened in Germany in the 30s.
Faces and bodies that hint at atrocities of the past. But this is not history, this is Bosnia.
To say this looks and feels like Germany in the 30s, before the rise of the Nazis.
Mulgara Sarah died in the street, his skull split open.
Facing the past also means facing the present. Kathy Zossel.
It happens every day. Ordinary people are perpetrators, or ordinary people are recipients. And it's the ordinary people who make choices to alter that in some small way.
Anne Frank's ambition was to become a journalist. Had she lived, her diary shows she would have probably attained that goal. Her words and the exhibit challenge us to live up to her expectations.
In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. I simply can't build up my hopes on a foundation of confusion, misery, and death. I see the world gradually being turned into a wilderness. I hear the ever-approaching thunder which will destroy us too. I can feel the sufferings of millions. And yet, if I look up into the heavens, I think that it will come right. This cruelty too will end, and peace and tranquility will be again.
And all the photography, the editing, and the writing of that entire piece was done by photographer Bill Getz.
It's not the alarm that gets you out on the trail every day. It's your heart, whispering, get out of bed, this is your day. Your legs are tired. Your body begs you not to do it. But going back is not an option. This race is against your toughest opponent. This race is against you. You give it your all and will be back tomorrow to do it all over again. And when you finish, because you're never really done, only one thing can restore what was taken and what you gave. Lochmead reduced fat or non-fat chocolate milk. Recovery doesn't get any better than this.
We're a little old country town, about 1,700 people. Everybody seems to know everybody else. You know everybody else's business, perhaps.
Or perhaps not. The week of August 18, 2013, a kidnapping took place near Brownsville, Oregon. Missing? Aretha, a well-known community figure.
So as the local newspaper, what do you guys know about this kidnapping in Brownsville?
Well, it was pretty horrible when we first learned about it. We thought that, you know, in our small community, that kind of thing really doesn't happen. But it did, and it's been a shock to everybody.
Dairy Mart is like the town square.
So are you having a good day?
It is a great day.
Somebody has had to have said something.
I heard about it just about a month ago.
Did you guys hear about the kidnapping?
Yeah, we did. Everyone's talking about it. The whole town heard about it.
You know, you walk down the street and people say, well, hey, have you heard about the kidnapping?
And owners.
And especially now that the posters are up. I mean, they're all over town.
Mothers don't let their kids go outside.
Huh.
and nobody even knew she was gone.
Yeah, you know what? I can't believe anybody would do that. You know, that's just really, really low.
And we'd hate to think that anybody in our community would be guilty of such a heinous crime.
Okay, so you're a reporter.
Yes.
What have you found out about this kidnapped victim?
Well, I didn't really know about it until fairly recently, which means the trail is pretty cold.
We interrupt this story with an update. Someone spotted this cow outside a car wash in Oregon City. We, my wife and me, stopped by, talked to the owner, took these pictures. It's not Aretha. We'll get back to the kidnapping story in a minute. First, check out this massage.
This is ashiatsu. Ashi means foot. Atsu means pressure in, I believe, Japanese. They've been doing different kinds of foot massage for years and years, but ashiatsu, in the way that I learned it, was developed in the late 90s, I believe, by Ruthie Hardy. And what I do is use my feet, and I use the bars up above the table for my balance. Well, I've been doing massage for almost 16 years, and I've done a lot of deep tissue massage over the years, and with my forearms, I can give about 40 pounds of pressure. This way, I can give up to 140 plus, or plus or minus a few pounds of pressure. And it's a broader pressure, of course, because it's using my whole foot.
Aretha, she came to us years ago.
We did a little digging. As it turns out, Aretha is a longtime employee of Lochmead Farms.
She's been a part of the gang of girls out there for many years.
Lochmead hasn't said much publicly about the abduction, concerned more about Aretha's safe return.
She's been out in the public for years and never had any problem.
But people are starting to hear things, grumblings, possible sightings.
You know, it's being a body shop, we thought maybe there was a body around here, but we couldn't find nothing, and we've looked all morning long.
No, nothing. As a news guy, are you just milking this story for everything
Yes.
it's worth on?
Yeah.
Huh? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, I am. I must admit it.
Lochmead simply decided it had to go public.
So you guys you're at the Willamette Country Music Festival,
Right.
in Brownsville.
Yeah.
It was the last night of the Willamette Country Music Festival. People were cleaning up, folks were leaving, and something happened.
I was out back by the truck just putting stuff away when the gentleman next door at the booth comes running and says, "Hey, somebody just took your cow."
Wow.
Aretha is one of 3 fiberglass cows owned by Lochmead Farms.
You know, I took the better of the 2 out there too.
Her sister, who you see right here, and whose name and whereabouts remain a secret for obvious reasons, is an exact double.
Notice that the cow is going through the crowd basically by itself, it looks like. We were running after it, and we see these couple guys carrying the cow. We yell at them to drop the cow. They do. We grab it, bring it back.
Later that night, someone returns with a truck, talks to security, posing as a Lochmead employee.
You know, last night there was a gentleman from Lochmead came by and said he wanted to take the cow, and so he put it in the truck and took off with it.
So what does this mean to your family?
Kurt's right here.
In all seriousness, someone did take Aretha the fiberglass cow. Lochmead wants her back and is offering a reward for her return. No questions asked.
I'm hoping our posters out there will do some good.
Somebody had to see this.
Oh, they had to have seen it.
You know, you're leaving
a lot of people had to have seen it.
Right.
We want her back. She's missed, and we would very much like to get her back.
Anne Frank said, in spite of everything, she still believed that people were good at heart. Amazing, coming from someone who went through so much. When you look at life since the time she was captured to now, look at all the conflicts that have gone on and all the terrible things that have happened. And it really makes you wonder that her message is still fresh today, and we still need to take it to heart, but it's something we really need to practice. In fact, it kind of reminds me of, this may sound silly to you, but it reminds me of a song that I really like because the message is so good, and it takes it all back to you and me. It's, you know, change starts with the man or woman looking in the mirror each morning. It's the reflection looking back at you. That's where it starts, and that's where it begins. We're not responsible for what other people do. We can only be responsible for us. We'll see you next time. So we've got to get our name out. We've got to get people knowing who. We need a promo. I think we need to come up with a concept.
Ooh, let's work it out. Let's get some ideas down.
Okay, so what do you think?
Well, we're local.
Everything local. Local, like local everything.
Okay, okay.
I live here.
I live here.
Okay, there's local. I own Rick Dancer TV. Locally owned.
There it is. Oh my God. It's working.
So I'll teach you how to do the head bobs.
Ooh, they're dramatic turns.
Yeah, I can show you all that stuff. I'm an expert at it.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? We should do first, fair, and accurate.
I've heard that before. That's too far. That's too
You've
much.
heard that?
I think somebody uses that.
So if you're in the market for a video, Rick Dancer Media Services, we create long format videos, shorter videos, YouTube videos, website videos. What we specialize in is telling your story, and we do it with heart, we do it with passion. Sometimes we do it and make it just a little wacky. It's whatever you want. But give us a call to find out more about our services and what we offer. My phone number is right here on the screen, 541-232-3143, or go to rickdancer.com or Rick Dancer TV.